feel to have all the boxes checked.
Boxes are checked. So it was good. I mean, it was a good regular season. You got to do well in this part of the process in order to get a chance to play for the Cup, and so we're able to do that. And I think the guys are really excited to move forward, looking forward to that, and getting going with the playoffs.
Welcome, fans, to episode 120 of Rangers Ed, presented by Lucarelli Law. If you're in Florida and need a lawyer, call Lucarelli Law. Tell them the boys at Rangers Ed sent you. This is your host, Cousin Ed, here with my co-host, Little Ed, Coach Ed, and Mikey Produces is back this week. We got a lot to talk about, boys. The Rangers have won the President's Trophy, but we'll get there in a minute. First, I'm going to turn it to Little Ed. We got some merch news. The Rempy Rides at Dawn T-shirt is looking fire.
Yep, finalized the design finally, and got all of our orders in line for the pre-sale before it goes up on the merch store at BroadwayBreakdown.com. And man, got a lot more orders than I was expecting. So thank you everyone who's listening for placing an order. And yeah, the shirts are going to be awesome. Hopefully get them in time for the round one to be over, but I'm going to get them out as soon as I can.
So tell the fans how to do it if they didn't see it. They go on Instagram and they DM you, or for now, that's what we're doing, right?
Yeah, for now, that's all we got. Just DM me or DM us on Twitter, Instagram, or if you're listening and you don't have either one of those, you can always email us at rangersed.1994@gmail.com. That's probably the best way to get in touch with us if you don't have social media, right? And then, Instagram, Mikey just threw it up on the screen. It's at Rangers_ed.pod. Right now we're just listing them for $16 a piece plus shipping. We're going to keep them on the affordable side until they go up on the website. So definitely lock in your order now before the price goes up a little bit.
Yeah, and we got some other merch too. The hoodies and T-shirts and tank tops that are going to be available soon. So look out for that, fans. Get your gear for the playoff run.
Yeah, and shout out Nikki Blogs. He's working hard, and Bree working hard for the website and the merch store and all that good stuff. Hopefully, we'll definitely have it in time for next season, but hopefully sooner than that. We'll see what happens. But everyone's working hard, and hopefully, we'll get that going soon.
Yeah, I'm excited to work with Nicky. I was reading his article on the Knicks that he just posted, and I was like, damn, maybe I should have watched basketball this year. He got me pumped up. I haven't watched a single minute of the Knicks this year, and I felt like a diehard fan reading his article. Really, really.
Yeah, now you're going to be a bandwagon Knicks fan?
Well, whatever. I'm not going to be a 82-game Knicks fan. Come on, I got time for that. I already watch every Ranger game. I watch the Mets. I can't. My wife will leave me. It'll be over.
Well, just in time for Coach Ed and I to be a bandwagon Hartford Wolfpack fan. So,
oh boy.
Oh, talk about that. So, first of all, before you talk about the game, I got to know, how many phone calls did Coach make on the drive to Hartford?
I think it was a total of 8. And no pizza, and we did not get the pizza place that we wanted to go to.
Oh,
so we worked really hard. Yeah, but we got a golf club fitting.
Apparently, there's a whirlwind of pizza, like Sorrento's in the New Haven area, where you can't even make a reservation. We wanted to order a pie for pickup. The guy said 50 minutes. Yeah. He gave us a time of 50 minutes.
Yeah, and if we picked it up, we would have been lit. Yeah.
At the game, and picked it up on the way home.
We didn't. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we got home pretty late after that. It was a good time though. Wolfpack ended the season or clinched playoff spot. We witnessed a goalie goal, like literally right in front of us. We were third row or second row from the glass, right?
Second row, yeah.
Yeah, second row from the glass, right in line with the Wolfpack bench. So it was super cool. I think I paid $24, $12 for each ticket, so they were super cheap. Yeah, it's a great time. Me and Coach were just saying the whole time, like, we wish it wasn't so far away. Like, if there was like a minor league hockey team on Long Island, it would be amazing. Like, the Islanders should just play. The Bridgeport Islanders should play out of the Nassau Coliseum. That'd be incredible.
It'd be great.
So
We
yeah,
got a
there
good
was those games. What?
We got a good food deal.
Yeah, the good food deal. That was funny. Yeah, we were walking in, and every Friday and Saturday night they have an all-you-can-eat buffet and happy hour, $2 hot dogs and $2 draft beers until the end of the first period. Well, no, the $2 hot dogs, $2 draft beers are into the first period, but the food buffet ended like right at the start of the game. So Coach Ed and I are strolling in at like 6:50. We see the sign for the buffet. We shoot upstairs, and we walk up. The guy's like, "Oh, you need a bracelet," and it's closing in 10 minutes, so I don't think it's worth it. So we go back. We get a bracelet. I was like, "Don't worry, we'll make it worth it." So then we run back with the bracelets after we paid the $20 total, and we each get a full plate of popcorn chicken and tater tots, and then a full plate of like make it yourself nachos.
Oh my god!
It was awesome.
And
then
beers.
the guy goes, "Oh, don't stand there. There's fold down trays on these seats over here." It was like in
so the game like kind of starts, or they get like
it was like the bridge level.
Like the announcements and starting lineups are going on and whatever, and we're like trying to eat kind of fast because we're gonna miss the game and like the national anthem. And the guy's like, "Yeah, what Coach Ed just said, like, no, you guys don't have to stand up over here. Like, this whole section is open to the buffet people." And like it was like pretty much the Chase Bridge, like our seats at the Garden, just at the Wolfpack game. We're sitting there for like, I don't know, half of the first period, like up on the balcony seats. It was an incredible view. It was awesome.
Scarfing down nachos.
It was crazy, yeah. So we that was what we ate for $10 each, and that was a good time. And then we got down to our seats, and that was incredible. Just seeing that up close, and like I was saying before, like going to those games more often would be a ton of fun. We were actually impressed that like there was a lot of diehard fans there. Like I asked the guy next to me, he's like, I was like, "Oh, so you to follow the Rangers, whatever?" Also, he goes, "No, actually, I'm a Sabres and a Red Wings fan." I was like, "You're a diehard Wolfpack fan, but you don't care if like they go up to the Rangers at all?" Like, so that was a little weird to me. But like I said, like there's just diehard Wolfpack fans like all throughout the stadium. And then these guys are like playing for contracts. They're playing for their livelihoods. They're playing for jobs. So like every single game, they just play their asses off. And especially a guy like Louis Domingue, he's trying to get back to the NHL, I'm sure. And he puts in a goalie goal and clinches the spot for the Wolfpack in the playoffs. It was cool. Like just seeing that in the second row and like seeing the joy on his face up close. It was really cool.
Yeah, you don't get to see much goalie goals.
Yeah, we were right next to the bench.
You don't get to see it on TV. Never mind, like right there. Yeah, it was crazy. So I posted a video on Instagram of him like celebrating with the bench. So you never see the goalie leading the celebration after a goal too. So that was cool. And like I said, he was just so pumped. He was so excited. Like you could see like the joy on his face. It was like just a really cool moment. And the entire team was fired up too because they clinched the playoffs. So I actually didn't know like there was a lot riding on that game, like clinching the playoffs. I had no idea until afterwards. So that was really cool. So it made the moment even more special.
And then we saw the fight right in front of us. To see a fight like about 10 feet away from us through the glass.
Lecision.
Just the look on the guys' faces, and they're like trying to rip it was just like incredible, like right in front of us.
Yeah, Lecision was playing his ass off. He was like one of the best players on the ice, in my opinion. He was all over the place. And he lined this guy up with a hip check, and the guy did the whatever instigator, like retaliation, whatever. And the guy ended up getting a 10-minute misconduct. So they're definitely enforcing that or trying to enforce that in the AHL at least. But yeah, Lecision definitely threw a beautiful hit and then threw down, no doubt. It was pretty cool. So overall, great experience at the Wolfpack game, and I hope they do well in the AHL playoffs again.
And we picked up a couple of souvenirs, the towel.
What is that? Nice.
Oh, we lost Eddie for a minute. Everyone head on over to YouTube. Coach Ed's got a Wolfpack mini hockey stick filled. What do you got it filled with? Just juice
It's
tonight,
actually-
I guess.
It's filled with vitamin water.
There you go, even better. So while Coach was down at the seats, I got sucked into the Wolfpack mini hockey stick filled with beer and surprised it with him when I got back. Did you see that?
That's amazing.
So I go to Eddie. I go up to the bathroom. I'm coming back down. He goes, I'm going up. You want anything? I said, yeah, they had the gummy bears in a like a Wolfpack cup with the helmet on it.
Oh man, that's cool.
I go, get me the gummy bears. So I'm sitting there in the seats, and he comes down with these two things filled with beer, and he's not drinking. So I'm sitting there in the chair, sucking on the beer.
Yeah, I had to get two of them, obviously. So I asked the girl, I was like, can I just get one of them empty? She's like, yeah, it's still going to be $15. And I was like,
yeah.
All right, you might as well fill it. Like, we'll give it to somebody, I guess. Or Coach is just going to have 2 beers right now.
They did that to me when I went to the Panthers game. I wanted to get you a helmet, so the ice cream helmet. So I think I gave it to you. I don't remember. So I was like, all right, let me get 2, but the second one, I don't need ice cream. What do you charge? She goes, full price. I was like, all right, just give me the helmet. Like,
that's crazy.
I wasn't going to eat 2 ice creams.
I give you permission not to do that next time. But anyway, last little mini story with the Wolfpack game is while we were up there chowing down on our all-you-can-eat buffet, we were like looking down at our seats, and Coach Ed's getting all anxious that we're not going to get rally towels or whatever. So then we get down there, and they're actually gone off of our seats. So like, what the hell? Like, the kid behind us probably took 2 or whatever. So the dad ends up, he's like, oh, I think I just found it under my backpack, whatever. So he gives one of them back. He's like, yeah, I don't know where the other one went. I was like, dude, whatever. So Coach is like, still like, damn it, I really wanted my towel like that. Trust me. Like, when we leave this place, it's going to be filled with rally towels. So I got mine, obviously, the one hanging behind me, and a bunch more. So we got plenty. So as much as there's diehard fans there's a lot of people that leave behind their rally towels, and it's a really nice towel, I think.
Yeah, it's a good towel for a Peloton or a treadmill or whatever.
Yeah,
or it can hang in the Ranger room, whatever you don't want to do,
Yeah, Coach headed up earlier to use the bathroom before the mob hit, and I come walking up with both my front pockets like stuffed with towels.
He goes, Dad, don't worry, I got towels. They're sticking out of the side.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, the last thing before we get going here, because this is already going on. We could talk all day about this, but on your way to Jacksonville, I saw you stopped at Buc-ee's. Fans, I'm sure you saw that on the Instagram. You like Wawa better than Buc-ee's?
I like Wawa because there's like more options. Like, they have the screen. You could just order like literally whatever you want, whatever you feel like having. Like, Buc-ee's
Wawa's
just had
breakfast is fire. It is fire. Wawa.
I can't eat that like heavy meat sandwich and then drive another couple hours. Like, maybe if I was going to take a nap at that point, it would have been fine. But I don't know. It's a little different. But it is a delicious sandwich. I had it last time when Coach Ed was driving. So I'm not going to bag on it, but I like Wawa. You can get a lot of options. I love their cream cheese stuffed pretzel. Is amazing. It's a nice little snack for the road. So there's a lot of like little things like that. But I mean, Buc-ee's has a lot of crap.
The egg sandwiches was good at Wawa, for sure.
So I got to shout out before we move on. I got to shout out. We went to the Flyers game. I had a whirlwind of a weekend. We went to the Flyers game Thursday night.
Yeah,
me and Kathy are sitting in different seats,
whirlwind.
and I go, oh, we can get a T-shirt here. The first T-shirt toss. I'm sitting there, and the guy throws a shirt over our heads. This guy jumps up, goes to grab it. He knocks it. It lands right in my lap in my hand, and Kathy's looking all over for it. I go, it's right here. She goes, how did you wear it? Right? What?
That's the shirt you're wearing, right?
This is it. Yep. This is it.
Yeah, it's a nice shirt.
Was it an XL?
I think so, yeah.
They always give XLs. It's like, I don't know.
So I got to shout out. I got to shout out a couple of guys we met, fans I gave out names to. Guy Rob in the deli store. I go for lunch. I told him I'd shout him out if he listens. He said he subscribed right away. And on the train platform, I went to the Islander game. Joey Dollars comes up with seats for Saturday's game. So how could I say no to that game? Yeah, after the Wolfpack game. So 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm on a train with Joey Dollars and Kono, 2 Islander fans. And
mind you, we got like 1 a.m. from the Wolfpack game, right?
Yeah.
Close to that.
So I met a couple of people on the platform, Martine and her husband. I forget his name, but he subscribed immediately too. So shout those two out. Hopefully they become listeners. Everything was good on the platform. Peaceful game.
Coach doing work.
Nice win.
Networking.
No freebies that day, but
did you take a nap on the train?
Oh my God, it was a tough one.
He's sitting there on the train.
No, I took a nap on the swings at the park. I sent the picture. You guys didn't see it.
No.
We sent it
I
on.
missed it. It's hilarious.
All
right, let's oh God, we got a lot to cover. Let's jump into the Jersey Profile sponsored by Oscar's Pro Stitch Hockey.
Hey, Ranger fans, the season is winding down fast, and the Rangers are preparing for the playoffs. Are you ready for the playoffs? Get ready for your next trip to the Garden with a new Ranger jersey customized by Oscar's Pro Stitch Hockey. Don't settle for any imitations. Pick your jersey from any era, send it to Oscar for professional, hand-stitched, official NHL kits. Get your favorite throwback Rangers jersey, all-star jersey, or retro ready for postseason. Even the Stadium Series kits are in. So get in contact with Oscar on Instagram at OscarsPSH and wear it proud. Let's go, Rangers.
All right, so normally...
Wait, one more last thing. Eddie talked me into getting this hat I had to take off. It's a wool hat. I'm sweating my ass off, so I'm going to display it.
What do you mean I talked you into it? I thought you'd really like it. It's a nice hat.
I love it.
Coach Ed hat. It's a vintage, like navy blue.
It's like mine, but navy blue and wool. I like it.
Yeah, it's like a wool hat. I'm sweating down here, so I'll leave it on the doghouse for now.
It's
all
like,
right, so normally number
Brooklyn
2
Dodgers hat.
Yeah. Oh my God,
I gotta find that picture.
So normally for the jersey profiles and the jersey numbers, we pick guys who are retired or no longer Rangers, but we had to go with Chris Kreider with number 20, especially with the season he just had, and he's had the last 3 years. He's 815 games as a Ranger so far, 304 goals, 552 points, 44 game-winning goals, and in the playoffs, a beast, 107 games and 40 goals, 11 of them game winners. Former first-round pick of the Rangers in 2009, so those first-round picks sometimes do matter. He's already 10th in games played, 3rd in goals, 10th in points, 5th in plus-minus, 4th in even strength goals, 2nd in power play goals, 10th in shorthanded goals, 3rd in game-winning goals, and 4th in hat tricks in Rangers history. So he's going to be first in some of those, if not all of those categories by the time he's done. Well, I don't know. What else is there to say about Chris Kreider? I mean, does he need to do anything else but continue to beat Chris Kreider to go up in the rafters? Does he need a Stanley Cup? Does he need to break a record or something? I don't know what you guys think, but he's headed there. He's headed there for sure.
Yeah, we definitely spoke a lot about him on a recent episode about whether or not he needed to do that. So if you guys want to listen back, for sure, catch up in the last couple episodes. But a cup definitely solidifies him, no doubt. But he's well on his way. I think all the records and stuff, he's just becoming Mr. Ranger. He took the hometown discount on his last signing. He saw something in the future of the team. And clearly this episode, we're going to be talking a lot about their regular season success. And hopefully he can continue on. I mean, there's been a lot of criticism with the 5-on-5 play of him and Mika this season. And I think that's kind of been his issue all his whole career is consistency. But I mean, the consistent thing he has been is wanting to be in New York, or he's had is wanting to be in New York and always wanted to be a Ranger. And I think that's the most important thing. And hopefully he can carry on his 5-on-5, like that Chris Kreider that we see that's unstoppable for this playoffs, and he'll get his cup. If he leads the team, I think I've definitely said it before. If he brings it to the rink, he's like the energy of the Rangers. I think this season Trocheck kind of replaced him in that category, but he can just become a beast in the playoffs, and you see it right there with that stat line.
Yeah, I mean, Coach
11
game-winning goals in the playoffs.
I mean, I love his stats. I mean, there are guys up in the rafters that have not won a cup, so I think he's going to go up either way if he's a career Ranger the way he's going. But I just want to see him lead them to the cup. I want him to play a dominant playoff run and not be that inconsistent player that we kind of witnessed against the Devils last year. It was disappointing. He played last night phenomenal. That's the energy he's got to bring. I was watching him. He was back checking. If they survive 5-on-5, but they dominate him and Mika in the penalty kill and the power play, I have no problem with it because that's going to lead to success, in my opinion.
Yeah, they don't even have to score 5-on-5. I mean, if you want to leave that to the Panarin line, maybe in the third line, if they just bring the energy and just get momentum 5-on-5, exactly. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that for sure.
Yeah, break even, right?
Like right. Like when Kreider's got the puck behind the net, you could tell when he's like, no one's getting this puck from me. Like, and then there's times where it's like he just kind of like, it's hard to explain. Like he's kind of like, like that ex-NHLer at open hockey that like doesn't try hard. Like he feels bad trying hard with like all the young kids on the ice. You know what I'm saying? Like he like peels off a hits. He nonchalants it through the neutral zone sometimes. It's like, dude, just try your hardest every game.
Dominate it.
Yeah. I think that I was thinking that the other day. I knew you'd get a kick out of that one.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
I think that's been a big problem in his career, but honestly, in the last 3 years, he's got 52 goals, 36 goals, 39 goals. Never hit 30 before that. I think he's found his, balance, I guess, where he's not gonna show up at all 82 games with that kind of energy, but he knows when to, show up, and he also has mastered certain skill sets that allow him to complement the remainder of the roster. So. I don't know. I mean, I love Kreider, and I didn't even look at the other number 20s. I said, we got to do Kreider after the season. It's relevant to the team now, and he's going to go down as an all-time Ranger. So it made the most sense.
Without a doubt. No, I wouldn't. To answer your question quickly, like I wouldn't hate it at all if he didn't get the cup and went up to the rafters, So
he will.
Either way.
I think he will. I think it's guaranteed. But all right. So prior to the last episode, the Rangers were 53-21-4. Since then, they went 2-2. They finished the season 55-23-4 with 114 points, first in the Metro, and the President's Trophy winners, first in the NHL. They lost to the Islanders 4-2. It was 3-2. The Rangers pushed hard, and the Islanders got an empty netter after a brutal cross-check from Noah Dobson and to Vincent Trocheck was not called. Islanders sealed the deal. It was about 8 seconds left, 4-2 final. Then the Flyers came to the Garden and won 4-1, must-win game for Philly, and the Rangers really just didn't show up that game very much, and there were question marks heading into the weekend whether the Rangers would win the division and maintain their President's Trophy lead. Panarin scores with 5 minutes to go against the Islanders on Saturday to tie, and the Rangers win in a shootout 3-2 over the Islanders, and then a 4-0 shutout to clinch the Metro division and seal the President's Trophy. So the Rangers clinch the President's Trophy. They have home ice advantage throughout the playoffs. How important is this? I keep reading about the President's Trophy curse, and I forget that. Is it important in this day and age to have home ice? I mean, we've seen the Rangers in years past be quote-unquote road warriors. Is there really an advantage to having home ice advantage in the playoffs? Coach, I'll go to you first because we got it in every round. As far as they go, they have home ice advantage.
I think it's got to look at 94. Game 7 against Vancouver was at the Garden. To me, that's big. I mean, yeah, even if you are a good road team, which a lot of teams we talked about are because of the camaraderie and, time away from home a little bit, because in this day and age, everybody's more family oriented, obviously, which isn't a bad thing. But when you're on the road, you're concentrating more on hockey, let's say, and the game. And but home ice in the playoffs is going to be big, no doubt about it. You can't deny that. I think if we play Colorado in the finals, Game 7, where's it going to be? You want to be in Colorado or you want to be at the Garden?
Right.
You want to be at the Garden. You want that crowd pumped up. You want to go, and you need that help. That's a little extra.
Well, luckily that won't happen because Colorado has Alexander Georgiev in net. So,
dude,
I don't foresee that. But I get your point.
I was hearing some of his stats today.
I say it's Vancouver.
That's...
What if it's a replay of Vancouver?
Well, the thing is, last year or 2 years ago, when the Rangers went to the Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7 against Carolina in Carolina, Rangers won that game 6-2, right? So, I mean, I hear you. I'd rather the Rangers be home in a Game 7. I think the odds are, increase of them winning, but does it matter? I guarantee you, and without looking at it, that the stats show that it no longer is that much of an advantage. But Little Ed, what about like the tactics in the game, right? Like you get last change, matchups, things like that. I mean, that matters, I think.
Yeah, that 100% matters, especially in the playoffs. I mean, we've seen it recently with Laviolette's lineups for their opening face-off. I mean, obviously the antics aren't going to go down, I don't think, as far as like fighting off the opening draw and stuff in the playoffs, but it just matters if who you want to line up for that opening draw, whether or not the other team's starting their first line, second line, third line, whatever the case may be, So that kind of stuff definitely matters. I mean, we've learned on recent episodes or past episodes about like the face-off rules, about putting your stick down first and stuff. You can definitely go check out Rob Schremp's interview with him about that stuff. So yeah, the little ins and out definitely matter, but I wanted to bring up that like Ranger fans are everywhere. So like you mentioned that Carolina game, I remember specifically, I think that it was like more than 50% Ranger fans in Carolina. Tampa's always like that too. Obviously, if we play the Islanders, it's going to be crazy. And last year the Rangers didn't they win 2 games in New Jersey or 1 game in New Jersey at least? Like they packed out Prudential Center also, the Ranger fans. So I mean, the Rangers, as far as that goes, it's tough. But but at the Garden, when that place is going crazy, like it's hard to beat that. So
I just feel like there's also an element of opponents really like playing in the Garden. And they want to rise to the occasion in the Garden, so it kind of gives an opponents a little bit of a boost also,
Yeah.
So that also happens, but I don't know, I'm overthinking it. I guess at the end of the day, like Coach said, Game 7, you want it to be in the Garden or you want it to be elsewhere? You want it to be in the Garden, and you want to just take a chance.
There's no doubt that's why like opposing goalies and stuff had like incredible debut games at the Garden. Like they're definitely a little bit more fired up to play there. It's definitely different.
For sure.
Look at 94, Game 7 against the Devils at the Garden. Crowd was going crazy. Game 7 against the Canucks. I mean, it's got to be there. And like Eddie was saying, not only is it an advantage when you have a guy like Trocheck, Goodrow on the draws, and kudos to Laviolette. I talked about last time the Al Arbor rules. I don't remember way back if Scotty Bowman and them did this also, but Al Arbor was famous for putting 2 centers out in case one got kicked out.
Yeah,
and
smart.
Laviolette's been doing that regularly. At the game Saturday, Goodrow took a draw. He had Goodrow and Zibanejad out there. Goodrow took the draw. The Rangers broke out. He went right to the bench. So he did the Fogo thing in lacrosse, and I said it to Joey Dolls when it happened. He went right to the bench. So to me, that's an advantage. Last change, face-offs are very important possession-wise. That's an advantage.
Yeah, that's where Laviolette definitely excels too. Like those little ins and outs, and that casual fan or whatever, we don't realize when it's happening, but then you hear about it in like the press conference after with the fact and stuff. It's like, oh wow, okay. These guys are on a completely different level than we are. I mean, Coach Ed and I try to do things like that, but it's a lot more difficult with our refereeing system and at the club hockey level, I think.
It's nice to have a coach that knows tactics,
I know.
We don't do as much research on the other teams. I mean, our assistant coach, Mike,
no, not you.
Phenomenal job. Don't get me wrong, but like we're not like matching lines like that closely, not nearly as close as they are and stuff.
No, but like I noticed in the Wolfpack game, because I watched the bench a lot, we were right there. Like when there was a face-off, guys hopped over and they watched who was going out on the other team, and then they hopped back off, and the other guys hopped on because they knew they're trained during the week or pregame. When this guy's out, you guys are up. So they don't even have to be told, because when we're coaching, it's like, who's out there? What do we got to do? They already have that figured out.
When we're coaching, we're doing, how come I'm not going out? Or
right.
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
I just noticed that little thing because that was one of my questions to Shrimp way back. And I like to learn how they do that, how they figure that out on matchups when it's during the game on the ice and stuff. And they have to be aware of who's out there and get on and off. And again, on the home team, that's going to be big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And look, it's an accomplishment. Like, it's not a big deal, obviously, that, as fans, you don't watch to see your team win the President's Trophy. And as players, you don't play to win the President's Trophy. But when you accomplish something, you should be proud of it, And this has been a hell of a regular season. The Rangers have set a franchise record for wins, points. They're pretty much first in every category that's relevant. They have the least losses, the most wins in the league. The only thing, I think they're second in regulation wins. So everything else, they're first. It's just an incredible season. And for all the negativity that I and other fans and, Twitter shows about this team, and we all debate all the negative things all the time, this has been the best regular season in Rangers history. And it's been just an awesome season to cover the team, to watch the games. And we all should be really happy. And look, let's hope they carry it into the playoffs. Playoffs are a crapshoot in a little bit of a sense. It's a little bit of luck, and it's a little different. But what a fun ride this has been. I'm sure you guys echo that.
For sure.
Fully.
So Chris Kreider finishes the regular season with 39 goals, and Artemi Panarin with 49 goals. Almost 40 and 50. That would have been cool, but they fall just short of the milestones. And I just wanted to mention it because, 50 goals.
I'm sure Kreider could have put in an empty netter or two that he just decided not to. So.
He dropped past it or something.
Yeah.
50 goals is hard to do, right? And Panarin, I think his career high, Mike, you can look this up, but I think his career high before this year was 32 goals, if I remember correctly. And then he jumped all the way to 49. There's like 10 minutes left in the game. Rangers get a power play late. Of course, Joe is like, oh, Panarin's going to pass to Kreider every time he gets the puck. And then he took like 8 shots. He wanted that 50th goal. I mean, shit. Like, that's tough. I mean, do you think as a player, you obviously want that? Do you think they care really, at the end of the day?
Panarin definitely cared. Like you said, he was shooting the puck more. It was frustrating me because, I mean, if they really wanted to try and get him, they should have just put him in Kreider's spot or down low or something instead of trying to take those shots from up top. He was trying to force shots from the top of the point, like top of the umbrella on the power play. You know what I mean?
He had
they should have tried to work the puck down low to him.
He had 18 shot attempts against Ottawa, dude.
18 shot attempts. Wow.
Yeah,
I think more often than not, from my experience, when you try to get a guy a hat trick or something, it kind of backfires. I mean, the game was really, you don't want to let the game slip away. You want to talk about check all the boxes, get the team in the right mode going into the playoffs, keep the lines rolling. Don't have fun, but don't be giggly about it. You got to have that competitive level. And I thought they finished off Ottawa good. That could have definitely, obviously, gone the other way, which it has against Ottawa. And they put a stamp on the season. I thought that was a very good finish.
Yeah, and led by Chris Kreider's 2 primary assists in the game, including the first goal and the big assist on the shorthanded goal as well. But Panarin,
and how about another shorthanded goal by a defenseman, Joe?
200 points for Rangers defenseman this year also. That's a hell of an accomplishment.
It is.
Wow.
He didn't stop, though.
It was a hell of an accomplishment. 200 points is a lot of points for a defenseman. But back to Panarin, I mean, he should get serious hard consideration for the season he had. 49 goals, 120 points. I think, Little Ed, you sent the post earlier, the predictions before the year. Mine were just don't even post mine. I missed every single one of them. But I think you had Panarin 100 points as a bold prediction, if I remember.
Yes, I believe so. Let me look.
I think it was Panarin 100 points. And you were right. And what a hell of a season by Panarin. 120 points, second most in Rangers history to Jágr's 123. Just a great season by Panarin. And what I really like about the 120 points isn't just that it's 120, but only 44 points on the power play. which means he had 76 points. Well, 75 because he had a shorthanded point. 75 points at even strength, which is pretty good in 82 games. That's a lot of points for even strength, especially for a guy like Panarin.
Yeah, so Mikey, in our awards predictions, Mikey Produces had Panarin winning the Hart.
Wow.
Ooh.
And in our bold predictions, I had Panarin with 100 points. Yeah. But we can go through all those in our
we'll recap
the season episode before the summer or
we'll
official end of the season.
You know what, Little Ed, you made a good point before the episode in our little meeting, though, that we can't be biased by the playoffs, right? There's going to be someone who emerges in the playoffs, like Wenberg is going to have like 20 points in the playoffs, and we're going to be like, oh, Wenberg is a key contributor. So I think we should all write it down now and take a picture of it so it's time-stamped. Before the playoffs start, pick our awards. So this way,
what are you saying? What are you saying? You don't trust me? It's got to be time-stamped.
No, I don't trust you.
Last year, I'm trying to think back what we did when they made the run to the Eastern Conference Final. But last year it was easy to do because we kind of just forgot about the whole Devils series altogether. Or at least we forced ourselves to. But I'm trying to think of if it was difficult to do 2 years ago. Joey, the historian, will have to listen back to see if we did it before or after the playoffs.
No, I think we did it after the playoffs, and I think it was hard because we were probably biased by the playoffs a little bit,
Yeah, it was definitely after.
So we'll write it down before the playoffs start, which should be this Sunday. Speaking of the playoffs, we still don't know who the Rangers' first-round opponent's going to be. That's why we're dropping an episode on Friday. That episode is going to be available audio and video, so it'll be YouTube and audio as well. And for the playoffs, we're going to try and do that throughout the playoffs. So let's take a look at who the Rangers might play. This has been a hot topic on Twitter. I mean, guys keep debating this left and right, all the fans out there. So we'll get our take here. The Capitals, the Red Wings, the Penguins, or the Flyers. I personally don't care, but let's go through the scenarios here. Capitals are in if they win in any fashion tonight. Oh, what's the current score of that game? Because we're recording this at 9. So
it's the current score is 1-1 with third period's about to start.
1-1. Yeah. 1-1 after 2. So if the Capitals win in any fashion, they clinch and the Rangers will play the Capitals. If the Capitals lose in overtime, they'll get in if Detroit loses in any fashion and Pittsburgh as well. Detroit will make it if the Capitals lose in any fashion and Detroit wins. What's the score of Detroit's game? They're losing 3-2 with 19 minutes to go in the third. So that game they're losing again in regular. This team is wild.
Well, they tied it up late. They tied it up late last night, right?
Yeah, I watched that. I watched
it. Like they're on their way to do that again.
Yeah, we'll see. So Detroit needs the Capitals to lose, and they need to win that game in any fashion. If the Capitals lose in regulation, Detroit can lose in an overtime or shootout and still make it if Pittsburgh loses the game in any fashion. Then you got Pittsburgh. They can make it, but they need Detroit and Washington to both lose, and they need to win in any fashion. If Detroit and Washington lose in regulation, then Pittsburgh can still lose and make it if they lose in an overtime or shootout finish. But the Capitals and Red Wings would have to lose that in regulation for that to work. And then the Flyers can make it if they beat Washington in regulation and Detroit and Pittsburgh both lose in regulation. So Philly has Detroit losing 3-2 to Montreal right now. If that holds and Philly can somehow beat Washington in the third, win that period, and win that game in regulation, then the Islanders and Penguins game tomorrow will be either Philly or Pittsburgh against the Rangers. So we still have no idea who the Rangers are going to play. Coach, you didn't follow any of that, but do you care?
Yeah, I did.
All right. Do you care which
I really don't care. I just don't.
Theo's in the bedroom with her earplugs in and her sleeping mask on and just
Yeah, I sent her that meme. I posted it like it's me and my wife. I sent it to her and she just wrote my life. That's all she wrote. My life.
That was hysterical.
Anyway, Coach.
I mean, just for the sake of it, I don't want to play. I don't want to play Pittsburgh.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like they could bite you in the ass. They're surging. Carlson's getting involved more. Crosby's eating, tearing it up. 40 goals, 38 years old or whatever he is. He's just on a mission. You got Malkin. You got guys that can do damage. Rust always freaking kills them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to play Pittsburgh at all.
It's just a scarier team to play. To me, I'm not worried about any of the other teams, really. I mean, Charlie Lindgren's been killing the Rangers, but we beat him last time, I think.
I don't care about Charlie Lindgren at all. I think, for me, everything you just said, plus the fact that Tristan Jarry is this, like, head case goalie where he has, like, a 900 save percentage, but he has, like, 7 shutouts. You know, so it's like,
would he play?
He can get in the zone.
Right. If he gets in the zone.
Is he playing right now, or is Nedeljkovic still playing for them?
Oh, I don't know, but
I think they've been riding Nedeljkovic.
He doesn't scare me at all, Nedeljkovic. But they play tomorrow. I don't think they're playing right now. Who played last night?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Pittsburgh definitely scares me.
Nedeljkovic, yeah. So they're riding Nedeljkovic. So look, I don't know. None of those goalies scare me. I mean, Lyon and Reimer and in Detroit don't bother me. Charlie Lindgren and Darcy Kemper don't bother me. Philly, I don't know. Ersson and Fedotov, come on. Jarry and Nedeljkovic is the best goaltending duo of that. So to me, I don't want those guys getting hot and making this a 6 or 7 game series. And plus Crosby and Carlson, you know. Then with Washington, you got Ovechkin. You really want that, you know. I don't know.
If I had to choose between Ovechkin and Crosby, I'd take Ovechkin all day, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Especially without Backstrom.
You mean playing against him, not like on your team, right?
Correct.
Right. Yeah, I'd rather play against Ovechkin than play against Crosby. I agree.
Yeah, if I had to pick, well, yeah, other than the Flyers, I guess. Yeah, no, I don't want to play Pittsburgh. That's too dangerous. That's playing with fire. You know, I'm confident the Rangers will win, but like I said, it's just playing with fire. You know, it's like it's just too dangerous. The other teams don't really scare me nearly as much.
The Flyers play the Rangers tough. Every game this year has been tough.
But in a 7-game series, they're gonna fall short. You know, in a 7-game series against Crosby, Crosby's done it 100 times. Like
Torts' press conferences might be worth rooting for Philly to make it,
without a doubt.
After game 1, you know, it's like 2-1 Rangers in overtime. On Flyers like deserved to win, but just couldn't pull it out because Igor was incredible. And Torts just been like, we're not. Like, I can't imagine what kind of press conferences you would have.
They didn't have it. They don't know how to play in these games.
Yeah, well, Detroit, it's crazy. They can't just shut the door on Montreal. I mean, they just tied it, actually, Detroit. Daniel Sprong scores, so it's 3-3 Red Wings in Montreal. Capitals and Flyers 1-1. This is getting wild. It's getting wild. I don't know, Mikey, who would you rather play of those 4? I mean,
give me Washington. I think our best matchup would be Washington. You guys make a great point for Pittsburgh. I can't see Philly getting in, so.
Yeah, the thing about Washington too is their goal differential is -38. Like how like difficult of an opponent can you be if your goal differential is -38? I mean, I don't want to just sit here and bet these teams are all going to one of them is going to make the playoffs, right? So we can't just sit here and say they suck. I mean, Washington's 39 wins. If they win, they'll have 40 wins. But -38, it's really bad.
You just got to get there, right? That's what everyone says. You just got to get there. So.
And look, got to be careful. Florida took out Boston last year, 8 against 1. So
exactly,
Rangers have to come to play. But if they do, I don't really care who one of these 4 teams. Doesn't matter to me personally. I prefer it's not Pittsburgh. I agree with Coach's analysis, though, for sure.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's tough. Pittsburgh would be tough.
All right, so the Rangers winning the President's Trophy sets up a matchup with one of those 4, and we'll try to give you guys an update and our reaction to it while the games are going, if they're still on while we're recording. and that sets up an Islanders Hurricanes first round matchup. One of those teams will be eliminated in the first round, which makes me very happy. I don't care which.
Mangled.
Yeah, I just don't care which one it is, but I keep reading online Hurricanes are going to win this in 4, and I don't know about that.
I don't think so. Not after seeing how the Islanders can play in the last couple of games against the Rangers, and they could definitely. I hate to give them any credit, but they could definitely step it up in big games, and they can kind of just like we kept saying in the group chat and stuff, like they just turtle and they block shots and they literally give it 110%. Like every player on that team is so aggressively mediocre, but they all buy into the same style of play. And it's the most frustrating thing to watch, but it's like Coach Ed and I say that all the time. If we had 20 of those types of guys, we'd be a lot more successful than we are. It's like I hate to give them credit, but like when it comes down to it, they play a good hockey game, and like
that turtling won't be. That's not. They cannot turtle.
Well,
like
then it's going to come down. It's going to come down. We're going to have to ask Mikey 150, but then it's going to come down to Carolina actually providing that offense that they've been wanting for the last couple of years.
That I agree with, but I think, and Coach, you can disagree with me. I think it's going to come down to Varlamov and Sorokin. That's a really good goaltending duo, and they're going to have to hold serve against Carolina 5-on-5, and the Islanders are going to have to score on the power play. They haven't been scoring on the power play, and they've been winning, but they're going to have to.
Do you think the Rangers played their best game against the Islanders the last one?
No. Do you?
Okay. I don't think they played their best game, but I don't think they played a bad game. The Tuesday game was horrible. The Saturday game, they played a better game.
See, I thought they played better on Tuesday.
I think the Islanders still play. Really?
Yeah, the Rangers lost Tuesday with a bad first period and then dominated that game for 40.
Yeah, I guess.
They dominated. They just couldn't score because the Islanders turtled, like you said, but that doesn't work over a 7-game series. It's not going to work 4 times.
No.
If you just get peppered like that for 40 minutes a game.
A team like Carolina might work, though, because it depends on their offense, like I said.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut off Coach there. What were you going to ask?
Well, the Islanders are going in with a no-lose scenario. If they lose in the first round, they made it. They got in. They played Carolina. Carolina's under the pressure. To me, Carolina's got to step up and beat the Islanders handily. Otherwise, they're going to suffer. They're going to lose confidence. The goalies are going to lose confidence. That's a big thing, and they're snake. But yeah, what's his name? Brindamore's a great coach, but he's going on how many years where he hasn't finished off the playoff run with one of the best teams in the NHL every year. Top 5 team or so. So it's going to be a lot of confidence issues, a lot of question marks for them, I think, if they don't make that long run in the playoffs.
Yeah, my early indications are that it's going to go 7. I think the Islanders are going to push Carolina pretty hard in that series. But I haven't finalized it yet, but I think that will go 7. It's a tough series. That's why it was so important. The Ranger fans were going crazy about winning the first seed. It's just really important. The Islanders are way better, and they're 8-1-1 in their last 10, and they're way better than any.
Yeah, they're on a surge.
Right? So playing the Islanders with Sorokin and Varlamov versus Detroit, Philly, Pittsburgh, or Washington is a huge difference. And, kudos to the Islanders, although I've been following Sean's tweets, and he's getting a little too confident. Sean, he's just some of these tweets are just a little they're just a little too far, man. Your team is funny, man. 38-43. They're 38-43 on the season. Like, let's be real. Like, you went 8-1-1 in the final 10, and you're still 38-43 on the season.
Yeah,
right? So, like, let's take a break here. Like, the Islanders are on a surge, and they could do some damage against Carolina. But if I were being objective as an Islanders fan, I would say we can give them a run, but I wouldn't pick them. Right? I would say we're severe underdogs here, and they're just shit talking the Rangers like crazy about 5-on-5 play, and you guys got to tone it down a little. I'm sure the Ranger fans out there agree with me on that.
Look, the Islander fans are typical Islander fans. when they changed coaches and they went on like a 5-game winning streak, they were all excited. Then they went on a 5-game losing streak, and Joe's calling me going, they got no defense. They suck. They can't score goals. I'm like, Joe, they lost 7-6. They scored 6 goals. What do you mean they can't score goals? They're scoring goals.
They listen to the radio. That's all they
it.
do.
They just listen. I got to go to the game Saturday. Kono's got a number 29 Islander jersey. It says sniper on the back.
I saw that. Where did
Brock
he get
Nelson
that?
is a sniper. He had it made.
Yeah, I mean, look,
That's
Brock
tough.
Nelson is pretty good. In the
He's
last
not a
3,
sniper. He's not like
he's a 30-goal scorer. You know, I mean, scores in the mid-30s 3 straight years. He's a pretty good goal
He's
scorer.
not a sniper, though.
Austin Matthews,
But he's not
is a
Austin
sniper.
Matthews, right?
McKinnon is a sniper. These guys shoot and they score.
I wouldn't
Brock
go put
Nelson's a
sniper
very
on
good
the.
player.
I wouldn't go put sniper on the back of Trocheck's number, right? Like,
Right.
Laffy.
Or Laffy, right?
No, Laffy, I would.
Not
No,
yet.
not yet.
He's been sniping this season.
I don't know. Come on,
What do you mean?
Brock
What does he
Nelson-
have? What does he have? 29 goals,
Ed,
Laffy, or 28?
He had 28 goals, and Brock Nelson has
I'd
3
say-
straight seasons in the mid-30s. So if we're gonna say
I
Laffy's a
understand
sniper,
that.
then Nelson
Listen.
can be a sniper.
Listen, 30 goals or 28 goals, whatever it was, I'd say 14 of them were snipes. I'm serious. His shot, I'm being
You're just
his shot
pulling
has
a number out of your ass. Like you gotta watch.
that's my prediction. I've been on the money this season.
I'm sure if you go on YouTube and
Analytics.
type Alexis Lafreniere every goal 23, 24, somebody has clipped all of his goals, and you'll be
We're
able to
gonna find
mark down which is a snipe and which is not, and follow up with this. But either
We're
way,
gonna
even
find that on
if
YouTube.
that's true, I agree with you. I still wouldn't get a 13 Rangers jersey and put
No.
sniper on the back.
That's
you
right.
know?
Exactly.
Which is absurd. Completely.
No. We
Still
should have
love
said
that
no
with
Not
to
only
Oscar.
that, wait a minute. Not only that, he had it made and it came out screwed up. So the guy made him a new one and he bought the one that was bad for half price and gave it to his daughter, I think. So there's 2 of them out there.
There's 2 of them.
That's insane. That's insane. But Flyers and
Love him to
Capitals,
death.
by the
Love
way,
him to
still
death,
tied.
but It's rough.
Flyers and Capitals still tied, Coach. 1-1. If the Flyers don't win in regulation, they're done. Red Wings and Montreal still tied. 10 minutes to go in the third, so I'll keep you guys updated. All right. So hell of a season for the Rangers. We'll talk more about the Rangers playoff matchup on Thursday, dropping that on Friday. So look out for that if you want some analysis into who's in, who's out in the lineup, what you would do against a specific team. If you're the coach, things like that. We'll talk more about that later in the week. For now, we're just kind of celebrating the end of the season here. And I got to say, before we move on to the broadcast banner, though, so my wedding anniversary was April 10th. 3 years of my wife. Awesome years. Saturday and Sunday, we went to the Keys Marathon in Florida. We got a hotel overnight. It was really nice. Of course, the Rangers played at 12:30 p.m. So I had to figure out how I was going to watch the game. So we left a little late. We ended up leaving at like 11, and it's like a 2.5-hour drive. So at like 12:15, I pulled over on US 1, and I was like, "You're gonna have to drive." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Cause I gotta put the game on." So I made her drive the rest of the way. She was fine with it. She was happy to do it. So we drive the rest of the way. I watched the first period in the car. The second period starts while we're there. So we're like checking in, and they're telling us about the resort, and I have an AirPod in, and the phone is, I'm like holding the phone by my hip, and I'm like going like this, and she's like, "Babe, pay attention. They're telling us about where everything is." I'm like, yeah. I'm like watching the game like this. So the second period, it was hard. I tipped the guy, brought my bags in, and this, that, and the other. Schneider scored. I missed it at first. I had to rewind. It was really annoying. Third period, I watched it on the beach. They're losing 2-1. She goes, "I want to go in the water." I go, "There's 10 minutes left in the game." She goes, "All right, I'm going to go in the water." I was like, "All right, go ahead." So she goes in the water. She comes back, 5 minutes left. She's like, "They're still losing?" I'm like, "Yeah."
They're
And
still
like,
losing.
She's like, "All right, I'll watch it with you." So she watches the last 5 minutes. As soon as she puts the AirPod in, watches the phone, Panarin scores right away. I was like, You couldn't have watched the whole thing with me. It was funny, but anyway, kudos to her. That was our like celebration of our, wedding, and she let me watch that game, and she was very grateful they won because she knew my mood would be bad if they lost. So we ended up having a really nice time. But I got a great wife to let me watch the Ranger game in that spot. Let me
laser. That
right.
one, it felt good, but very anxious at the same time to like watch a very meaningful game like that.
Oh, God. It was hard.
Like I woke
thought
up
they were going to
like,
lose. I just can't help
especially it was
it.
like a 12:30 game. It was just like, all right, like I'm sitting on the couch. Like I was nervous. I did not want them to lose that game. Like at all. I was like very, very nervous. So
you got to think if they lose that game, they're probably the number 2 seed. They play the Islanders. They're coming off 2 losses to the Islanders, who are on a hot streak. It's not a good vibe, right? Like going into that series.
Yeah.
So it was a big game. It was a big game.
Yeah. The other thing is the game that they lost, we kind of tested out, like just watching the game together over like not a live stream, but like just watching it together over StreamYard. Coach Ed bailed pretty early on, getting frustrated because we weren't all on at the same time. But while Coach Ed was gone, we came up with a new series or new segment of we're going to have Theo and Kathy pronounce NHL players' names.
Yes, that's going to be great.
She was calling Pellick on the Islanders Pelich, and I was dying every time. Like in her accent, I was cracking up. Like, who's this guy Pelich? I was losing my mind.
She does like a Russian. Every country is the same accent. So it's like a German Russian accent.
No, we should make a list of opponents. So whoever they're playing, if they play Washington, for example, make like a list of like 10 guys on Washington who have like unique names, and I'll record Theo doing it, and Uncle Eddie, you record Kathy doing it, and then we'll clip them together. So it'll be like, either Little Ed or me or you, whatever, saying it correctly, and then them saying it, and then saying it correctly, and then them saying, or something like that. That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
I forget what we were doing. We were at the game, and somebody's name. Who's that guy with the name that's like 18 letters long?
On what team?
Kapanen or something. I don't know. I go, Kath, how would you pronounce this?
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
I
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Oh shit!
Yeah, is it Ukko-Pekka? Yeah, it's Ukko-Pekka. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. That's probably who you're talking about in Buffalo. But all right, let's move on. Do a quick little broadcast banter.
It's a power play goal.
I really want to just shout out Sam Rosen. Another season under the books for Sam. I know a lot of fans out there are wondering when he's going to retire, but I got to say, I got to give him credit for all the mistakes he makes during the games, of play, certain things, whatever that we make fun of. He prepares for big calls better than any announcer in the game. There's no question about it. He goes into this game against Ottawa. He knows the Rangers might win the President's Trophy, that when the buzzer sounds, he's got to make a call about the Rangers winning the President's Trophy, and he knows exactly what he's going to say and how he's going to say it, and he nails it. Nails it. So he is the master at preparing for the big call that he anticipates. He doesn't just do it off a wing. He thought about that. Definitely. So I'm going to give him some credit there.
Definitely.
Oh, he was chomping at the bit. He was chomping at the bit for Panarin to get his 50th, or Kreider to get
he
the 40th.
He probably had something ready for that too,
Yeah.
And every point that Kreider gets, it's like a milestone. He goes over. It's just he's just ready on that stat sheet.
Yeah.
Yep. I got my Sam Rosen shirt on from Tennessee Meg tonight in honor of Kreider's jersey profile. Actually,
I love that shirt. She made that?
I don't know if she made it. She got it probably off like an Instagram ad or something. But since we are jersey makers now, maybe I'll have her draw a Sam Rosen cartoon and make our own.
Oh my God, we got the Sam Rosen cartoons.
Are we allowed to?
We got those in the archive. Those are in the holster, getting ready.
Coach, you just put us. There's no defense now that we didn't know we couldn't do it because you just said, "Are we allowed to?" So now we all have noticed that we might not be allowed to, and you just made it clear. Anyway, that's the lawyer in me. I think there's a way to do it where it's fine. We obviously can't put,
we'll figure it out.
Picture of Sam Rose in there, but anyway, so that, and then the other one I wanted to point out was Micheletti on the Rangers power play at the end of the game against Ottawa. Panarin at 49, Kreider at 39. I mentioned this earlier.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
So he goes, Sam, Panarin's probably going to just feed it to Kreider over and over again and try and get him 40 instead of going for 50 himself. Panarin whips a shot and he goes, see, that was an attempt for a deflection by Kreider. And I'm like, all right, like maybe it was. And then Panarin just keeps whipping shots. He clearly is not trying to pass it to Kreider at all. He took like 4 shots. So it was so good, but he's
funny.
right.
That could be like a skit in a movie. Like,
yeah,
you just see the guy on the ice just like whipping shots. Like,
it just reminded me of the Water Boy where he's Bobby Boucher.
Can't hold anything back now.
Yeah, can't hold anything back now. But anyway, I don't know if you guys have any banter. Otherwise, we'll move on to the video mailbag.
No, those are two good
Move
ones.
on to the mailbag.
I think you covered it. That's great.
All right, let's go to the mailbag.
Talk about my shirt.
So we actually have a fan question from Pete McMorris asking all you guys, do I shave and start my playoff beard today, or do I wait until day 1 or game 1 of the playoffs?
I don't know what the official rule is.
I'll start there. I would say don't shave and just ride it wherever you're at. Like, just leave it and just ride it. Don't shave and start clean because it might take too long to grow back. I don't know what kind of beard you have or how fast you can grow a beard. But if I clean shave, it might take me a week and a half to grow like a beard back. I don't know. Coach is different. He probably grows it in a day. So
Coach is like the Santa Claus in the movie. He shaves it, it comes right back.
I'm not as bad as your father.
It's like Tim Allen shaved.
I'm not as bad as your father, but Boris is not going to be touching this beard till the playoff runs over.
Yeah, I would say like what I'll probably do is trim my beard. So I'll probably make it look nice and then try and ride it. Unless I have court, then I'm gonna have to shave. But if you can actually grow the beard out endlessly, I would just leave your beard and just ride it.
You got to let it ride. You can't start from scratch. Whatever you have, you keep going with it.
That's what I would do. Yeah. Little Ed, you agree?
No, I was gonna say you could trim it morning of and then let it ride from there. But
shave it clean.
Trim it's okay, but
like trim to what I have, but like to
like get the neck, get the face up here.
No, he wants to
trim it.
No, lining it up. I'm not letting my neck go the whole playoffs. I can't do that.
It's gonna be hard if I have to go to court.
I'm on job sites and stuff.
No, I'm gonna shave. I'm gonna shave all the areas that are shaven, but everything else you gotta let grow.
Right. Yes, that's what I plan on doing. Is trimming it down to like a 1 everything, and then letting it all go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Okay, I'm with that because I can't go with like hair up my face to court. Like,
So that's the official Rangers Ed ruling. If you have to be presentable, that's the official ruling for the Rangers Ed podcast.
I have not buzzed or shaved in about I would say like 6 weeks, and I don't plan on doing it. So I'm hoping by the end of this, I'm gonna have a very gnarly beard. Is my plan.
Yeah, I'm gonna trim up one more time and then let it ride.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably just I don't know. I gotta talk to Theo. But yeah, I think.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
Hey, I mean, this is the way it is. What am I gonna do?
Well, if the Rangers lose, it's on you.
Well, she's going to say, well, I'm definitely going to let it grow. There's no question about that. By the way, Montreal leads Detroit 4-3 with 4 minutes to go in the third period.
Oh, my God.
And Washington and Philly are still tied at 1. So Detroit needs to win and hope that Philly wins in any fashion and Detroit is in the driver's seat. Then they're in, right? I think pretty much. Yeah, if Detroit wins that game in any way and Philly pulls it out. So they don't have to win in regulation. They just got to win the game. But they're running
So we got to root for the Islanders tomorrow against the Penguins.
Maybe. If Washington wins, they're in. But if Philly wins, then that opens the door for Pittsburgh. That opens the door for them. We'll see. 3 minutes to go. Canadians 4, Red Wings 3. All right, let's move to our stars of the week.
Wait, you had another mailbag, I thought.
No, we're going to save it for the playoff episode.
Oh,
Shout out to Little T's. Gaza sent us one. It's more geared towards a playoff episode question.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you in a couple of days.
Keep forgetting to update that one.
All right, let's go to our offensive player of the week. This is the last one of the season. We'll start with Mikey. Mikey, who you got for your offensive player of the week this week?
The man who deserves never to be off this board. Number 10, Artemi Panarin.
Love that.
We harped about it enough during this episode, but what a great season he had and a great 4-game stretch.
Yeah, I mean, can't really argue with that. 5 points, 1 goal shy of 50. Great stretch for Artemi. Coach, who you got?
I got Brett also.
Little Ed?
Absolutely. Bread man all the way.
Ah, shit.
Can't take him off now.
I went with Kreider just because I haven't picked him for offensive player of the week this year. And he's got 39 goals. And he had 2 primary assists against Ottawa, the first 2 goals of the game, in a must-win for the President's Trophy. So, look, I think Brett deserves it, but I just went with Kreider for that reason. Just wanted to give Kreider a little bit of love in these games, a goal and 4 assists. So, good stretch by him. All right, defensive player of the week. Little Ed, who's your defensive player of the week?
I went with Schneider. I think he had a strong run of games here, and he had the big goal against the Islanders, the short handy to fire the boys up, and I think that was like the big turning point in the game. Obviously,
not only that, the promotion.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the fans have been calling for that for a long time. I mean, we were getting sick of it, obviously, and I think it just works out better for everybody. And yeah, Schneider definitely deserves it, and we say it all the time. He's kind of like the future of the Rangers core there, and hopefully he's around for a while because he's awesome.
Yeah, I picked him too, and I think the demotion of Trouba and the ascension of Schneider was a natural course of action and isn't one that really should be viewed as like a demotion of Trouba.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
It's just a better
balancing out the pairs, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a better fit long term to have Trouba play less minutes at even strength with his lack of foot speed, focus more on PKing. He plays with Gustafsson, who is a little more, sadly, a little more stable defensively than Miller this season, at least. And Miller plays with Schneider. So I think it's a good natural change at the end of the season. So I think Schneider's taken to it well also. Like you said, with a big goal, he looks more confident and happy. So I picked him. Coach?
I think Miller like seems more comfortable kind of like growing with Schneider as opposed to like being in Trouba's shadow in a way,
Maybe.
I think they can have more fun in the locker room together now, probably. I mean, they're probably friends off the ice already, so
right.
I think there's a little bit of a comfort level there as well, playing with someone more your age, kind of your peer in a way.
Yep. Coach, who'd you take?
I had Schneider just on that shorthanded goal alone. Now he's got to carry Miller, so
you got to give him even more. I should have worn my jersey. Mikey, you got.
Schneider. all the
Yeah,
way.
wow. Across the board, Schneid.
Wow.
I said
Look
it
at
2
that.
weeks ago. Lock him up. Lock him up to a 6-year deal or something. Get him in.
He's really
Whatever
good,
they
man.
got to do.
Depends on the price,
He's
right?
really good.
Well, whatever it is, figure it out.
How
Get him
much you
locked
offer
up.
Schneider without knowing anything about anything? What is number? Cap hit?
Without knowing.
Yeah, just like off the cuff. Like, what is
All right,
Schneider worth?
I'll give him 6 years, $4.5 million.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I would lock him up for that right away.
Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me?
6
Lock
years,
him up.
$4.5 million.
What if he
He'll be
says,
20
I want $6 million?
He'll get 20. He'll be 28 years old. Then he can get his home run contract if he's whatever.
What if he says, I want 6?
I don't think he will. 6 for 6, 6 for 4, maybe.
He's not that type of guy. Coach Ed said he's not that type of guy.
What if he wants 6 by 6 or he wants a 2-year bridge deal or 6 by 6? That's it.
I give it to him. I'm sorry.
6 by 6 is close, right? I think
I give it to him. 5.5. If you're gonna give what they give Keandre last year.
Nah, he got 3.9 over 2.
All right, so then to me, Schneider's ahead of him right now.
Yeah, that was a prove-it contract. Schneider is above and beyond that.
He's been proving it for 2 years to me.
I would
he's been
squeeze him.
proving it for 2 years.
The way he plays with you got to squeeze him a little bit, but the way he plays and he doesn't put himself into dangerous positions like we talk about with Lindgren and stuff. He brings the offense. He brings the physicality. Yeah, he brings the physicality.
You got to squeeze him. You can't.
His defense, his shot blocking, everything. It's just
got to squeeze him.
Yeah.
I want him on a long-term deal, but you got to negotiate, man. You got to squeeze the kid. I'm sorry.
Of course, you don't give him whatever he wants. That's not what I'm saying. But like, if the squeeze is 6, I'm with it.
If he demands 6, I cap out at 5.5. That's where I'm at, and he'll cave.
Right.
He'll cave at that. He'll take 5.5. Come on, would you really throw it away for that?
No.
What's 6 by 5.5? 33 million.
Why do you got to squeeze him? But Keandre, you gave the money, no problem.
No, he got a bridge deal, Keandre. He
got 2.9 or something.
He got 3.9 over 2 years.
3.9? Yeah, that's too much.
There's no
That's
money.
way too much.
Well, he had
Way
a great
too
year.
much.
He had a great year last year. This year he
I don't know
off.
about a great year.
Yeah, he was ascending.
Joey the historian, find the episode where we talk about Keandre's
You
contract.
forget Keandre had a great season last year, man. That's why he got that.
I don't know about that.
Anyway.
All right, move on.
Key contributor award. I'm going to start us off here. Took Igor Shesterkin. I think Igor gets beat by the Islanders on Tuesday, and he comes back. He played great against the Islanders on Saturday. He had that beautiful save in overtime, and then that everyone says he embellished, which he did, but he embellishes all goalies embellish saves. And then the shutout against Ottawa to clinch the President's Trophy. I give it to Igor as the key contributor in these games. Mikey, who'd you take?
I gave it to the K-Man, Kreider.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Obviously, kind of the same reasons. Panarin is offensive. Kreider had a great season, a great 4-game stretch as well. Like you guys said, if he continues the way he played now into the playoffs, I think we'll be in great shape.
Yeah, I took Kreider as offensive, so I can't complain.
I agree 100%. If he plays the way he did the last 2 games, that's what we need. He's got to bring that energy every playoff game.
Little Ed.
Coach is going to like this one. I took Peter Laviolette.
Nice.
Maybe even the coaching staff in general, but just keeping them motivated after they clinched the playoff spot, keeping them motivated for the President's Trophy. I mean, sure, there's a lot of self-motivation, a lot of captainship and leadership, but Coach Ed and I know for sure it's tough to keep the boys motivated sometimes. And even though these guys are pros, they're still human beings. And we saw it. Some games they weren't as motivated as others in this stretch. Started to get a little worried in the Pittsburgh games like that,
The Red Wings tied the game with 4 seconds to go.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Sorry to interrupt you. 4-4. Detroit, Montreal. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's hard to keep these guys motivated, and he's been doing a great job. His press conferences are great, and the players probably watch those as well. He knows how to push the right buttons. He knows how to, the thing. I don't know. What am I trying to say? Like the whole thing with the Zibanejad hit. He was kind of trying to firing them up in his press conference, saying that it was like trash hit and everything. So I think he just kind of knows like those little mind games that just are over our heads. He's got everything, the ins and outs.
He's a good
I
coach.
like
I
that.
will say sorry, coach. He's one of my favorite Ranger coaches. I know he's going to flame out eventually, just like all coaches. But I really, really respect him watching him this season because he sticks with lines. He doesn't just juggle them. Then he knows when to juggle them, right? Like, we're a little stale, so he moves Panarin around. He doesn't change everything. He gives guys a chance, and he's got good tactics, like coaching little things.
Yeah, he'll randomly move BC up to the first line for a shift or two, but then you'll see Roslovic right back there later on in the game. It's like,
yeah, I think there's very few coaches in the league in a playoff series that are going to outcoach him. He's not going to be outcoached. If they lose, it's going to be for some reason, but it's not going to be because they got outcoached. Whereas Gallant, I didn't feel that way. I felt like, what are we doing? What's our system? I feel like Laviolette is really good. I got a lot of respect for Laviolette after watching him this year, even though I doubted the hiring. I got to say it was a good hiring. Obviously.
I like that pick because I like the fact just him juggling up those defensive pairs. That's thinking you're going to go a long way in the playoffs. And like you guys said, you can't have Trouba playing 25 minutes, 23 minutes. It's better to even them out. And the way those pairs are, other than Fox and Lingwood's going to get more time, you could even them out. You could, you don't have to, Schneider's going to get his 12 minutes instead of 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's going to be a fairer game. And that's important. And like you said, with the line mixing, he does it in game. He does it at the right time. That's not an easy thing to do. These guys all have egos. They all understand. I'm sure they're all talked to on a regular basis. And that's what coaching's about, letting the guys know what's going on and putting them right back after they learn that they didn't do it for 2 shifts. And they're back. It's good.
Guys, Philadelphia needing to win in regulation pulls the goalie, tied 1-1 with less than 4 minutes to go, and Washington scores TJ Oshie into the empty net. 1-1 game, which could end Detroit. See, imagine being a Red Wings fan. You're watching the 1-1 score in the Washington-Philly game, and you see Philly pulls the goalie in a 1-1 game, preventing the Flyers from possibly winning that game. So now 2:30 to go in the Flyers-Capitals game. Capitals lead 2-1, win, and they're in. Flyers, if they don't win in regulation, are out. So
That's crazy.
How much are they going to be able to do? Flyers are probably done.
What a
but
goal.
you got to play to knock Washington out if you're Philly, right?
Of course.
Looks like it might be Washington. Keep you updated. But, yes, Coach, I agree. But who's your key contributor of the week?
My key contributor, I went with Kreider, piggybacking off of your offensive player. The way he played the last 2 games and what Mikey said, he was exciting to see in person against the Islanders on Saturday, and he just finished it off against Ottawa. On NHL, Rupper was talking a lot about bringing guys in for a culture, and he's got to show that. They brought in Goodrow, overpaid for that. Kreider's been there the longest. He's got to show it. He's got to show these young guys he's got to be a freaking workhorse in the playoffs. And that's going to be a big key of their success if they're successful.
Yep, without a doubt.
Little note to add here. The Bruins lost to Ottawa tonight, 3-1. And the Panthers lead the Maple Leafs 4-2. If that holds, the Panthers will play the Lightning, and the Bruins will play the Maple Leafs, which I prefer that than Bruins, Lightning, and Panthers, Maple Leafs. I don't know if you guys agree, but we'll see. Panthers, Lightning should be a fun series.
Yeah, we'll talk about all this on Thursday without a doubt.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's go to the highlight play.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm scoreboard watching like a psycho. This is what I've been doing.
Well, by the time everyone listens to this, it's all going to be over. So
I know, but live reactions, All right.
Okay.
Highlight play of the week. Little Ed, start us off with your highlight play.
I went with the Panarin snipe to tie the game. We call it the heels play. We try to teach our kids a very similar play, that shot off the wall. Yeah, it works like a charm, and that was an unbelievable shot. So I think I'm going to get a number 10 sniper jersey for next season.
Oh God,
Talcono.
Coach, who you got for your highlight play of the week?
I have the Lafreniere goal last night, the tic-tac-toe play. I think Gustafson made the last pass to Laffy down low on that shot. We talked about a coach's corner a couple of weeks ago and just put it in the net, iced the game.
I was going to pick that one too because that was a snipe also. So number
That was a
13
pretty play.
sniper.
Oh, that was a snipe. It was a wide open net. Mikey,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Well, it's a wide open net because of the play.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not a snipe. Snipe is like you picked a corner or something. Like not like, oh, an open net and buried a shot. Like Mikey.
I'm giving it to Foxy's shorthanded goal against
was nice,
Ottawa.
too.
That was a beautiful play. Great pass by Kreider and great finish by Fox.
Yeah, that was a good one. All good picks, but I went with the Shesterkin windmill against Barzal in overtime. I love that. What a save that was, man. That was wild.
Barzal sucks.
And they showed that replay, and he caught it right here. And after catching it, he pulled like a mini hockey goalie, like he whipped his arm up like it was a windmill. Sure, he could
You
have
see,
windmills, but he was like
yeah,
what a-
Barzal
gotta
skated
make
by the bench.
You got to make a statement.
super dramatic, and I love it. Be dramatic, man. If that gets him in the moment and gets him playing like that,
That's fine.
we got a chance to win the cup. If Igor plays like he did in the last two games, the Rangers could win the Stanley Cup. So do that all you want. I do not care. Let them hate. Windmill it. Beautiful save. Big time. All right.
100%.
Oh, by the way, a little question for what's his name, Neil. Are they going to be
Oh.
cheering Igor at the Prudential Center?
No, and they were chanting Rangers suck during the Devils Islanders game. And they were all chanting it. All the Devils, they were in unison chanting Rangers suck. And then both fan bases proceeded to tweet rent free in Rangers heads. All they could talk about, like, dude, what? Like, you're rent free in our heads. You're chanting Rangers suck at a Devils Islanders game. What? Like, your team's about to clinch the playoffs. You're about to clinch the playoffs, and you're chanting Rangers suck in a game where the Rangers aren't even playing. And then you say that you're rent-free in my head? You crazy, man. Islanders fans are just laughable at this point. Like, I'm sorry. I know, Sean, you're a good one, but, like, it's a joke.
In general.
It's a joke. Like, I'm on Twitter every day, and, like, I had to make a post. I was like, you guys are just laughable at this point. Like, you're not trolling. It's crazy. Anyway. Coach Ed's doghouse. Coach Ed, you had it empty last week. I see your hat is on the doghouse. Is it empty again?
Pulling the trigger. Hold on.
Notice in the picture, I have one hot dog in the bun and the other roll ready.
I know the
in the same hand.
Put it up again. Put it up again. Oh my god. And that's sponsored by Suitor Sweet Treats. Check them out on Instagram at Suitor Sweet Treats, and check them out on Etsy at Suitor Sweets and Gifts. Double Sweets and Gifts. Double Sweets and Gifts on Etsy and Instagram. Suitor Sweet Treats. Use code EDPOD for 10% off your order and a free doghouse cookie. We love them. They're the best. Even Theo today, and don't send me anything, Meg, but my wife said today, where's Tennessee Meg? She hasn't sent us something in a while.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're definitely in a box.
Yeah. So we need a box soon, but I'll pay for it. You don't have to just send it. Send me something good for the playoffs. Anyway, you guys should all order your cookies for the playoffs for sure. Coach Ed, your doghouse was empty last week. It's empty today again, it looks like. Empty, huh? Why?
Doghouse is empty. Head on over to YouTube
on.
to check out the doghouse.
Come on, President's Trophy. How can we do anything? I can't be a Yankees fan and just talk negative even when they're successful.
Yeah.
We've been doing it all season.
Not me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with it. You know, I'm with it.
Empty.
I really tried to find someone to put in there, but
Good vibes only heading into the playoffs.
I mean, you can nitpick little things here and there, but it's like, dude, the team is the President's Trophy winners. You know, like, what am I going to do?
Look, against Philly, the whole team shit the bed. They were horrible that game. It was hard to watch. It was hard to be there, but it is what it is. They're entitled to that. Philly was hungrier. Philly was on a 9-game losing streak or winless streak, whatever it was. And I was nervous about the whole game going in. I said it on the train. They're due to lose and the Philly's due to win. And, it was ugly. But other than that, it was the whole team. It wasn't one guy that I could pick on.
Oh, man. Well, we all agree the Rangers are President's Trophy winners, and you can't really put someone in the doghouse after that. This is back-to-back weeks of empty doghouses, so hopefully that continues in the playoffs.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Meg, one of the Suter sisters from Suter Sweet Treats, for drawing the original sketch for the Rempe shirt. So she drew the original sketch, and then I found somebody on Instagram to do the digitizing and put all the color into it. Her Instagram handle is SIMILDE. She has a very nice artistic page, and I don't know if you guys remember earlier in the season, it might have been last season at this point, I bought the hand-drawn Mika and Kreider photos. So she did those as well, not Meg, the other artist. So shout out to her. Like I said, SIMILDE on Instagram. Elena, thank you very much. Came out amazing, and we can't wait to print the shirts.
And the Washington Capitals have defeated the Philadelphia Flyers 2-1, so the Rangers will play the Washington Capitals in round 1 of the playoffs again.
Oh, God.
And we'll talk about that more.
College.
Talk about that more later in the week. Real quick, we'll talk about this later in the week too, but interestingly, Detroit ties the game with 4 seconds to go, and then Philly pulls the goalie and Washington scores. Detroit getting to overtime eliminated Philadelphia. So once Detroit scored with 4 seconds to go, Philadelphia was done. And then they pulled the goalie after that. Did Tortorella know that Detroit
was it after that? I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I was following it. It was after Detroit tied it, Philly pulled the goalie. Did he do it on purpose to ruin Detroit's season? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But all right. Rangers Capitals. We'll talk about it later. Rangers Ed 150 with Mikey P.
And to trivia, it's time to throw it over to Mikey P with your Rangers Ed 150, the fastest 150 seconds in the National Hockey Podcast.
And welcome back to the Rangers Ed 150. We now have all but one playoff spot decided across the entire league, but we're going to have to wait for all 82 to be played until we know those first round matchups. In the West, our playoff teams are as follows. From that Central Division, Dallas, Winnipeg, and Colorado are all in. Winnipeg still has 2 games remaining, while Colorado has 1. The Jets are 1 point up on the Avs with 3 more regulation wins, so in the event of a tiebreaker for the 2 spot in the Central Division, it would go to Winnipeg, and the Jets would maintain home ice advantage through round 1. In the Pacific, Vancouver, Edmonton, and LA hold the 1 through 3 divisional spots, respectively. Vancouver and Edmonton both have 2 games remaining, while the Kings only have 1. Vancouver is 3 points up on the Oilers with 4 more regulations wins, so if the Canucks are able to take 1 point in their remaining 2 games, they will solidify first place. They also have 3 more regulation wins than the Stars, so if Dallas loses their final game in regulation and Vancouver wins out, the Canucks would finish first in the West and face off against the second wildcard team. LA is only 1 point ahead of Vegas for the 3 seed in the Pacific, and with 2 games left to go for Vegas against Chicago and Anaheim, there is a very real chance that Vegas ousts LA for that 3 spot and pushes the Kings down into the wild card. Speaking of that wild card, Nashville has 99 points with all 82 of their regular season games in the books, so if Vegas remains in a wild card position after winning both of their final games, they will move up to wild card 2 and push wild card 1, and push Nashville to the second wild card spot. With all this on the go, there is only one first round matchup in the West that is set in stone, and that is your Winnipeg Jets and your Colorado Avalanche, with the only thing left to play for there being home ice. Now on to the East, where the playoff picture is equally as complicated. As it stands, we know all but one of the playoff-bound clubs, but Much like the West, there is only one matchup set in stone. In the Atlantic, Boston and Florida occupy the 1 and 2 divisional spots, respectively, with one game remaining apiece. A regulation win solidifies first for Boston, but any tiebreaker goes to the Panthers on regulation wins and pushes Boston to second place, where they will face off against the Leafs in round 1. If the Panthers are unable to oust Boston from that one spot, the Bruins will play Tampa Bay and the Leafs will play the Panthers in round 1. In the Metro, your New York Rangers have locked up their 4th President's Trophy and now join the Boston Bruins and the Detroit Red Wings as the only clubs having won this trophy 4 or more times in their franchise history. Just behind the Rangers in the standings are the Hurricanes and Islanders, who have locked up the 2 and 3 spots, and they will face off in round 1. Finally, in that East wildcard, we have 4 teams still competing for that final spot. At the trade deadline, Philly, Washington, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, and the Red Wings were all competing for that spot. And since then, there have been 16 changes to the second wildcard between those 5 teams. Currently, Washington and Detroit both have 89 points. Pittsburgh has 88, and Philly has 87, each with 1 game remaining. Detroit plays Montreal tonight. Washington plays Philly tonight. And the Pens play the Islanders tomorrow. A regulation win for the Caps puts them in, even in the event of a tiebreaker with Detroit. If Pittsburgh is tied with anyone for that spot, the tie will go to the Pens on account of regulation wins. The only way Detroit gets in is if they finish with more points than any other team. They do not win any tiebreakers. And finally, the Flyers can still get in, even though it is a very outside chance, if they have a regulation win and none of the other clubs get any points. So with all that in mind, we have a wild couple of days of hockey coming up, and with the vast majority of round 1 playoff matchups coming down to 81 and 82, be sure to tune in. Until next week, this has been your 150.
And that 150 was brought to you by Sorrento's of Long Beach. Get your game day meal at Sorrento's for sure. By the way, boys, I got a great idea for a Sorrento's commercial. I'll share that with you tomorrow or something. But I got a really good idea for that, and that'll be fun to record. But Sorrento's, man, I just wish I lived in New York sometimes. And the pizza here is just not good. It just sucks. But Sorrento's, you got Rangers in the playoffs. Order Sorrento's if you're on Long Island. Get it, man. Get it for the game. It's worth it. It's good time to eat, some pizza or some pasta or whatever. Get your order in.
Stuffed meatballs.
Quick apology to the fans listening to Mikey's 150 when Coach Ed forgot to mute his mic watching the video or something.
Yeah, what the hell are you watching?
I had the volume off. I don't know why.
I know, but Mikey shaking his head when that happened was just perfect because he's just like, I gotta edit this somehow. I don't even think I can edit it. Like I heard him like his thoughts while he was shaking his head. Like, how am I gonna edit that? I don't think that could be edited.
Not gonna happen. Can't happen.
Classic. All right, so Rangers Capitals. Detroit wins in a shootout, and they finish with 91 points, but it doesn't matter because the Capitals beat the Flyers 2-1. So the Penguins Islanders game doesn't matter. Flyers and Penguins eliminated. Red Wings eliminated. What a finish in the Eastern Conference playoffs, and we will talk about this matchup with Washington later in the week. For now, let's go to trivia and wrap this up, boys.
That was it.
So I lost my trivia timer. So I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds. All right.
Okay.
But
I might have deleted it last week. That's my bad.
that's all good. I got a special question, being that I missed trivia last week. All right. We got a 5-point question coming up.
I knew it. Some stupid shit like this.
5.
I'm looking for 5. I'm looking for 5 names. A little hint. Cousin Eddie mentioned one of these names earlier in the episode, so hopefully you guys were listening.
One of 5
wake up.
What 5 players played the full 82 game season this year?
Wow, 5 players.
5 players.
Hmm.
All 82 games. this season.
A lot of dead space here. Yeah, keep talking.
There are
Gee.
two players. Two players played 82. Another two played 80. Three, excuse me.
5 played
Really?
82 games.
All 5 played 82, right? You said?
Yes. Filipino only played about 10.
And you got a point per player?
For the record.
You get a
1
point per player or 1 point for all 5?
1 point per player.
All right. Well, considering I'm up by 6 on the season, this is a good. I like the 5-point play. I like it. So regardless, I
Can
win.
we stop talking so I can think?
I think I'm good.
All right.
Wait, goalies don't count, right?
Well, goalies didn't play all 82.
Name me a
Well,
goalie
they
that
could be-
played 82 games.
What the hell?
They could be. If they're dressed, they're in the game. A guy could be dressed and not play a minute. He's still.
I
in
think
the
I
game.
got it. I think I got all 5.
Ready?
Hold on a minute. Give me a second.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, man. Just do the 15-second skip ahead, I guess.
Look at I'll
I'll
name the players and you guys check them off on your board.
All right,
No,
I'm
no.
ready.
No, we need proof on the board.
I'm ready.
All right. So you've got Artemi Panarin,
Got him.
Chris Kreider,
Got him.
Oh, I don't have.
Alexi Lafreniere,
Got him.
Vincent Trocheck,
Got him.
and Schneider.
Got him.
Let's
All
go.
5. Let's
that
go, boys. Panarin.
I'm an
Trocheck,
ass.
Kreider,
I'm an
Schneider,
ass. I got VC. And he didn't dress opening night.
Yeah, that's correct.
I
Who
got
else you
4.
got, Coach?
I got 4.
You got Laffy, Schneider, Panarin, and Trocheck?
Yeah, Laffy, Bread, Schneider, and Troche, and VC.
That's hilarious.
Nicely done, little Ed and cousin Ed.
All right.
Good question, though. Great
Yeah, what
question.
a good question.
Wait, who was the one that he mentioned during the podcast? What was that?
Panarin, when he said that he had he mentioned something about his goals in 82 games this year.
Oh,
So we finished the year on trivia. Cousin Ed wins with 25 this season, 25 points. Little Ed in second with 19 points. And Coach Ed with 17 points. Oscar joined us and had 2 points in one episode, which is pretty good. And overall, for the entire podcast since we've been doing trivia, Cousin Ed in first with 65 points. Coach Ed in second, 46.5. There was a 0.5 in one episode. And Little Ed with 44. So you guys swiftly trailing behind me by about 20 going into next year. But good job, Mikey. Good question. And all right, boys, good episode. I'm ready for the playoffs, man. I've got about a week here to let this, simmer, and we'll think about the matchup with Washington. We'll get that to you guys on Friday morning. Get ready for that. A little playoff preview. I think the Rangers are going to open on Sunday because the Knicks finished second in the East in the NBA. They are home to start their playoff series, which has been scheduled for Saturday. The NHL playoffs start Saturday, so I think the Knicks are going to play Saturday at MSG. The Rangers will play Sunday. The Knicks will play Monday. The Rangers will play Tuesday. It's going to be crazy if the Knicks go and Rangers both go deep. All playoffs will be monitoring that, but it looks like Sunday.
By the way, the same thing happened in '94.
And you're right, Coach. I already texted Fio, who's downstairs, and I said, "Want to go to DC for a playoff game?" And she said yes. So she doesn't know any details, but she already said yes. And
I'm in. I just drove. It took me 3 hours to get to DC, or 4 hours.
Maybe next Saturday we'll be in DC for Game 4, right? Hopefully, we'll see.
Nice.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, let's make that happen. All right, boys. Good episode. Good regular season, and I'm excited for the playoffs. The content we're going to drop. We're going to try and get you guys some quicker content this year. Maybe some live stuff. We'll see what we can do, and just enjoy the playoffs, enjoy this season, and let's go Rangers.
Let's do it, boys. Let's make a long run here.
Coach,
One last shout out. Rempy rides at Dawn T-shirt. there's the logo on your screen if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not, go check it out. If you want a t-shirt, place your order now. Like I said before, Instagram, email, Twitter, direct message, whatever you got, get in touch with us and place your order.
I love the Devils
thing's
logo
nice.
too. With the Devils logo in his hand. It's great.
And the Coach
Cowboy
Ed
hat.
cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Made sure Meg threw that in there, and then like I said, Elena did a great job turning the drawing into something more digital and
I'm gonna-
t-shirt friendly.
Nice.
I'm going to take credit for the 73 on the cape, though.
You
I think
nailed
that-
it for
I think
sure.
that was my idea. Yeah, I like that.
Yes, you did.
Shit, I was going to say something. I forgot.
So yeah, it's gonna be an awesome shirt. I'm really looking forward to it. Sorry.
Coach. We didn't do a coach's corner and all that this week, but you got to shout out your boys at Old Country
We
Tile.
got a
and
boy.
Italian.
We got to give a credit to our sponsors, Old Country Tile in Westbury and Bella Marble and Granite in Oceanside, New York, both in New York. Let's head over there, getting ready for our spring playoff run, watching games outside, get your outdoor kitchen going, make your wife happy, get your regular inside kitchen going, your bathroom remodel. Let's get over there and pick out some material and get it done.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Roger that. Roger. As the droids say in Star Wars, right? I'm showing my nerd. All right, boys. Let's go Rangers. I'll see you guys this weekend. It's going to be fun.
Love you guys. Let's go Rangers.
I love you guys. Let's do it.
Love you guys.